What up? It's your boy T-Bird in the reaction, today's wrestling reactions, because it's probably past Wednesday. I originally intended to release the Wednesday, but got interrupted. We're going to do the final reason why of WrestleMania, and this is the reason why The Rock wasn't at WrestleMania, which possibly really ruined WrestleMania is The Rock not being there. So, recently he was on the Pat McAfee podcast and everything, so this stems from that. So, without further ado, let's check it out.
On the Pat McAfee show today, and he answered many questions that the WWE Universe has for him. He revealed why he wasn't at WrestleMania to help John Cena win the WWE Championship in his match with Cody Rhodes. He also revealed why he wasn't a part of the storyline. But before we get there, he answered why the John Cena heel turn happened at the Chamber and not at WrestleMania. Let's listen to what the final boss said.
So I got a call about a month before Elimination Chamber. I get a call from Ari Emanuel, who we know owns TKO. TKO owns WWE. He's been my longtime business partner and one of my best friends for over 20 years. He said, we need help at Elimination Chamber. Ticket sales are a little slow, but beyond that, he goes, what we are finding is with Elimination Chamber, it's become the pay-per-view that's been interesting. Fans have had fun, but it's also the conduit to WrestleMania. And how do we create a Elimination Chamber that people must tune in to see? How do we create that? And he goes, right now, we don't have that. And he said, will the final boss show up? I said, well, let me give it some thought and let me get back to you. So I gave it some thought. I got back to Ari. I got back to Triple H and Nick. We had a call. And I said, I have an idea. What's most important to the final boss? The most important thing to the final boss isn't titles, it's not money, it's not fame. Been there, done that, and grateful for that. Final boss wants your soul. And what does that mean? What that means, that doesn't mean, hey, the final boss wants you to act like this, be like this at his beck and call and treat you like crap and make you do all these things that are unbecoming or embarrassing. That's not what the final boss wants. That's not how the final boss flies. No. What that means is, whatever you could think of in your head. So Cody Rhodes, whatever dreams you have, whatever ambitions you have, even if they're dark, even if they're amazing and they're full of light, even if they're scary, whatever those are, you tell the final boss he's going to make it all happen. You wave that magic wand, he'll make it all happen. So when it comes to giving me your soul, giving the final boss your soul, that is what you want, not what the final boss wants. And so what does the final boss get out of that? I get your soul for life. That's what the final boss gets out of that. So now we go into Elimination Chamber with this idea of, will Cody Rhodes sell his soul to the final boss? And my thought at that time, and you and I might have even I know we talked about this, was it was a litmus test to find out, in my opinion, how will fans respond if Cody sold his soul to the final boss? Let's get a temperature check on this. Let's establish it, let's anchor it in, and you come to find out that there were a lot of fans who were saying, sell your soul. Yeah. This shit is going to be crazy. Whatever it is, it's compelling, it's going to be great, let's do it, sell your soul. So I was an advocate of that, not turning Cody heel soon. But eventually, down the line, I like the idea of that because Cody's a smart guy, he's an intelligent guy, he's a ring general. And I think this idea of you give him a reason to turn way down the road, by the way. You give him a reason to turn, not based on titles, not based on this, but it's his soul and what that means that affects generations. It's transcendent beyond pro wrestling, and fans were loving it.
I find it really interesting that the WWE decided to pull off the biggest angle possible to try to sell some extra tickets for the Elimination Chamber. I suppose they also wanted to make that pay-per-view feel special for the future, but I always felt like they should just cancel that pay-per-view. I think I'd rather have them skip that and just build on the WrestleMania feuds for Raw and SmackDown. As for Cody Rhodes, it sounds like he was supposed to be the one who turned heel, but he clearly turned it down. I'm one of those people who wanted to see that happen. I think it would have been crazy. Heel Homelander Cody selling his soul to The Rock would have been such a great move. It does sound like it's going to happen in the future, and it's nice to know that we will get that sometime. Though,
hopefully not, but whatever. And I'm gonna say, if it does happen, remember the last video I told you the same guys and many others who was hating on him, it's gonna be all in nutsack like crazy. It'd be crazy to make that on some bizarre world shit.
Rock also explained why he stepped away during this entire feud. This is what he said.
As we got closer to Elimination Chamber, we were kicking ideas around, myself and Triple H, and that's the fun part, by the way. I've been kicking ideas around with Triple H for 20 years, dude. Just always having a great time with him and Nick and my team as well. And Triple H said, you know, what about this? What about John turning? I said, I love it. I love it. The next question is you got to talk to John, see how he feels about it. John loved this idea. So when we were moving forward with John, and this idea of him getting crowned at WrestleMania and becoming 17 and turning heel, and then being a heel champion, I knew then the best thing for the final boss, we've established this idea of Cody's soul. We can always come back to it. I did feel, and I made the call, I don't want to be involved in that. Step back. Let the final boss step back into the shadows. Let all the spotlight go to John. Let it go to Cody. Let's not make it about Cody's soul eventually or John's soul. No, let's let them do what they do. And I called John after Elimination Chamber, spoke to him, called Cody, and I said, I think the final boss's work is done. We've established it. We just pulled off the greatest angle in the history of professional wrestling, other than Hulk Hogan turning heel back in the 90s. I said, this is amazing. We have 6 weeks. Now, let's build. You guys go and crush it. And I'll be right there with you. And I'm always here if you need me. But I think it's best for the final boss not to be involved in that finish. You guys go. So they had 6 weeks to plan for that. So I love the finish of the match. I would have finessed things a little differently on how they got there, but that's just me creatively. There are a lot of minds in the room. That's my thought. But still, ultimately, the bottom line was I love John getting 17. And I never had a concern about John.
Oh, sorry. They hit the
pulling this off. My thoughts are always to Cody because of what we've established with him and his story and the kind of babyface that he is. So if done right, and I think if finessed right, and if nuanced right, down the road, that guy not only has an incredible babyface run again as champion, but also just an unheard of run as a heel down the road.
I think it's interesting to see that The Rock said his job was finished for this feud. To me, I felt like he should have been a major component of this storyline. I was really bummed out to not see one segment where The Rock and John Cena cut a promo together. That could have been so great. I believe this had more to do with the fact that he had other commitments. It sounds like Ari Emanuel put him in a position where they wanted to sell some extra tickets for the Chamber, despite knowing that The Rock would not show up afterwards. So you kind of got to put that blame on Ari Emanuel. Wow. Anyways, Pat McAfee doubled down on his question and asked why he didn't show up at WrestleMania, and this is what The Rock said.
Let's talk about you saying the final boss needs to step away to, kind of let the spotlight be where it should be with John and Cody, who, potentially you talk about John being the GOAT. There's a chance Cody, when it's all said and done, is also trying to vie for a spot on that Mount Rushmore rock with his dad on the backside with you raising your eyebrow. A lot of people just assumed you were going to show up. So when Travis Scott comes out, they think there's a chance of maybe, there's going to be a reunion from the Elimination Chamber. What are your thoughts on Travis Scott getting involved and you saying, I need to stay out of that? Was there ever a moment where anybody was trying to tell you differently? Like, no, final boss. Anytime you're around is a good thing, not a bad thing.
No, well, they don't have to say anything like that to me. And they know when I come to them, and them meaning Triple H and Nick and Ari as well, and I lay this out and I say, hey, here's how I really feel it should go. We can insert final boss in the end of this finish, but then where do we go? There's other commitments that I have, and I want to also be careful that we're not overstepping and leading over our skis too much here. Can get involved in the finish, and I said, but why get involved in that finish when the spotlight should just be on, in my opinion, John, 17, heel champion? What does 2025 look like if this man is saying he's going to ruin professional wrestling? That, to me, is the anchoring storyline. It's not soul right now. Right now, it's not. But by the way, we'll go back to it.
You still got it. Still a
We'll go back
favorite.
to Soul. Look, I can't take the text that I got and from the guys that I got, who are these top guys who are saying, one in particular who I love is my guy. I call him the Superman of the company. He's like, listen, my soul's for sale when it's time. And I said, I love it. Let's do it. So, look, I love Travis Scott involved, and I'll tell you why. Because he loves wrestling. He's a huge fan, and he respects it. He's working his ass off. I know that he has plans to train with Booker T. I don't know if it's happening already. It might be. Not quite too sure there on his schedule, but he loves the business. Now, I was just as surprised to see Travis Scott as well, and I knew the moment I saw Travis, well, that immediately amplifies, well, here comes the final boss. And so again,
yes,
I love.
yes,
I mean, that was it. They were waiting.
Yeah, I think I texted you. I texted you as it was happening. Holy
you did.
shit!
You were like, "Are you coming out?" And I was like, "No, dude. I would tell you if I'm coming out. I'm not kayfabing you." But again, I loved at the end of the day, North Star, John Cena, heel champion, 17, the GOAT, says he's going to ruin wrestling. Now we tune every week in every week to see how it happens, how that goes down. Some parts of it I would have just adjust a little bit more. I would have finessed it a little bit more.
But it was a great WrestleMania. I think you all should be incredibly proud.
Great
Would have been awesome for a.
Oh man.
The place went absolutely apeshit, but the next time it does, it will go crazy.
There you have it. That is the legitimate reason why The Rock did not show up to WrestleMania to help John Cena. He also had some other commitments, and it felt like his role was finished. He wanted the story to be focused on John Cena, him winning the 17th championship, and Cody Rhodes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.
Not a bad reason for it, but it still could have been better. But either way, it was a good little video to watch though as well too. Other than that, if you like my reaction to this, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let's see what's going on, especially after what happened with everything else. Let's see what's going on with SmackDown or everything. And then the next Monday Night Raw. Other than that, it's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.